remain standing for the invocation and national anthem. Side boys, post. Strike 4 bells. Navy Munitions Command, arriving. Strike 2 bells. Lieutenant Commander, United States Navy, arriving. Strike 2 bells. Senior Chief, United States Navy, arriving. Mr. Monroe will now offer the invocation.
Good morning. Please join me in prayer. Vouchsafe thine aid, Almighty Father of the universe, to this our present convention. You promised that when 2 or 3 were gathered together in your name, you would be in their midst and bless them. In your name we assemble, most humbly beseeching thee to bless Senior Chief Armstrong and his family at this time of transition in their lives. We ask that you bless Senior Chief Armstrong in all of his new undertakings and illuminate his mind by the divine precepts of your holy word. As he begins anew, remind him of his beginnings in the military, and as you were with him then, be with him now in all of his deliberations. May he go into retirement with the confidence of knowing that you are walking with him. We ask these blessings in your name. Amen.
Side boys, post.
Side boys, left, right, thanks. Forward, march.
Parade the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the
Fourth March.
You may be seated. That was worth the wait, right? Yes, yes it was. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Better Up to Daniel Peters. On behalf of Team Chief Armstrong, I would like to welcome you to this special occasion marking his retirement from active service. We are gathered this morning to witness the final stage of a very honorable 26-year military career. We are also gathered to say thank you to an outstanding leader. Thank you for his many contributions which in their own unique way have made our Navy a stronger and more capable force in our never-ending fight for peace in this sometimes troubled world. Thank you for his many dedicated hours and personal initiative that have helped to make Navy Munitions Command a proud professional organization that it is today, and every sailor a better sailor for serving with, myself included. Thank you for being the type of leader that has ensured the next generation of sailors are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Just as this is the end of one phase of his life, it is the beginning of another. So our gathering today gives us the opportunity to wish him every success in the future as he looks forward to new challenges and rewards. I extend an especially warm welcome to his wife of 24 years, Phyllis, his two sons, Gary and Philip, sister Jill Armstrong, and granddaughter Maria. I know that you, more than any of us, are actually aware of the sacrifices he has made in the service to our country. And I speak for the entire Navy when I say how pleased we are to have you here today. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the guest speaker for today's ceremony, Lieutenant Commander Clarence White, United States Navy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Captain Kirsch, distinguished guests, family, friends, shipmates, and most importantly, our honoree, Senior Chief Armstrong. Good morning. It's truly an honor and privilege to participate in this ceremony this morning as we recognize the closing of a wonderful story that began 28 years ago and as we celebrate a shipmate and friend going ashore. Senior Chief, thank you for affording me the opportunity to be a part of this special day to honor you and your family for an illustrious and storied career of service to our Navy, Marine Corps, and nation. I'm humbled and truly honored. Thank you. I would also like to recognize the family, to the glue that has kept the Armstrong family together all these years. Your lovely wife, Phyllis. Hey, Phyllis. Your sons, Gary Jr. and Philip. Your sister, Jill, your granddaughter, and your family that traveled from Tennessee, Ohio, and Florida. Thank you all for being here. Excuse me. Now, for all these years, I really want to thank Phyllis and Jill for the many years of nurturing and your unfailing support to your husband and your brother, to care and feed for him, because we know Gary, and he probably needed a lot. So I know that it was probably a lot of praying, and thank God we know that prayer works. Hallelujah. Thank you for gracing us with your presence this morning. And while we're talking about prayer, let me take a brief moment here to thank all of the participants and the folks responsible for putting this all together. We realize that you had to put up with G for quite some time in the planning and rehearsal phases, and for that we're praying for you as well. And as a matter of fact, maybe Mr. Monroe can lay hands on all of you before we leave. Now, as always, being that I am an administrator like Gary, let me say it's truly a great day to be a sailor, but more especially an avid warrior. Especially if you're retiring after 28 total years of honorable service. Now, when Gary asked me, would I be a part of this celebration, obviously I jumped at the invite. I mean, who wouldn't? But as time passed, I began to wonder what I would speak about. Would I speak about our escapades in Meridian, Mississippi? I'm not. Would I speak about our interactions as fraternity brothers? I will not. Would I tell you all some crazy stories about our times together in Virginia? No, I won't. I thought about going over his bio, which is always appropriate at a retirement. I could point out some of his unique duty stations like Navy Munitions Command, where he has served as a senior enlisted advisor, or maybe the arduous tour of duty at Strike Force Training Atlantic as the flag admin leading chief petty officer, or his tour at SEAL Team 4, where he deployed to Germany, Afghanistan, Bosnia, and Iraq. And oh yeah, I could probably talk about the time while assigned at Yeoman A School where our paths crossed, but I figured you could all simply read the program and see firsthand the myriad assignments and duties this great American has excelled at and in. Instead, I'll just take a few minutes to share with you of who I know Senior Chief Armstrong to be. Now I'm taking this back, y'all, so this is going back 26 years. I vividly remember meeting G in Meridian, Mississippi. Now back then, G had curly hair, and I'm not really sure if his hair was naturally curly, or did he put in it what we used to call a kit back then.
That's curly.
And his was backwards. But anyway, I also remember that gold tooth he had. Now, he used to love smiling, sure everybody that joint. I mean, every time you see Gary, he was smiling. So we like, kind of call him Smiley a little bit, but that's another story. But matter of fact, not only did Gary have a gold tooth, but Phyllis was at A school with us as well, and guess what? Phyllis had a gold tooth too. Yeah. As you all can see, Phyllis and Gary have evolved with time, but alas, I have not. I'm taking mine with me to the grave. Now, I'm sure all of you know that Senior Chief Armstrong is an honorable, disciplined, and good man, but not only that, he is also a great brother and friend. But to get to be that kind of person, he had to have someone to instill values into him and bestow a little home training upon him. Gary, I know that your mother, Miss Barbara Jean, your Aunt Mary, your Uncle June, your grandparents, Luther and Karen, your foster father, Maceo Hill, Hamilton, and your friends, Larry and Wallace Tompkins, are all smiling down on you from heaven and are proud of your accomplishment and the man you have become. I've known Gary for 26 years, and I can honestly say that way back when, we really didn't give a thought about being at this stage in our Navy lives. We had hair, we had muscles. Well, okay, Gary had muscles. And youth on our side. We were young then, and the things we thought about were far from our thought processes of today. Responsibility, life, and children, especially children, will sort of do that to you. Gary, you are now considered to be old, like we used to say about our instructors back then. I would also like to speak about Senior Chief Armstrong from a perspective of time dedicated to service. Service to our nation, to his family, and to his shipmates. Now, 28 years of doing anything is a long time. At most retirements, the guest speaker would normally tell you what the cost of a gallon of gas or milk was, and also inform you what the #1 record and movie was for that year. I won't go into those details because, frankly, quite a few of you can't remember that far back. But I will tell you that during that time in our history, we were being confronted with a new type of enemy in a region of the world that is still volatile today, the Middle East. 28 years ago, this shipmate walked into a Marine Corps recruiter's office. And even though he served 2 years in the Marine Corps Reserve, we won't hold that against you, Gary. He eventually got it right and joined the best branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. Go Navy. Gary, thanks for realizing the earlier ways and righting the ship.
No doubt.
Since then, it's been a lot of watches stood, a lot of deployments made, a lot of goodbyes, and a lot of time away from family. But it is what those of us privileged enough to wear the cloth of our nation do. We serve and we sacrifice. And as a matter of fact, there can be no true service without sacrifice. Let me put it this way. When Senior Chief raised his hand at the MEP station and took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, he began a life of service and sacrifice. When he was a seaman stationed on board USS Calistatue in the beautiful home port of Norfolk, Virginia, he didn't know what to expect or what was in store, but he performed brilliantly. He made his first Mediterranean cruise and was meritoriously advanced to Yeoman 3rd class. This would not be the only time he was meritoriously advanced in his career, because during a tour of duty on board USS Arkansas, home ported in scenic Bremerton, Washington, he was also meritoriously advanced, this time to Yeoman 1st class. Now let me put this into perspective for those of you who are familiar with the command advancement process in the Navy. Truth of the matter is that the vast majority of the sailors in the Navy, past and present, were never meritoriously advanced. This sailor was meritoriously advanced twice. This was due to his exceptional work ethic, technical acumen, and his ability to lead and train our most vital assets, sailors. There came those times when he had to stand to the eyes of Phyllis, Gary, Junior, and Philip, to say goodbye, not knowing whether he would return, and that's tough. And it doesn't get any easier as the years pass. Service and sacrifice. And it's not just in those times, but every morning for the past 28 years that he got out of his rack, bunk, or bed and put on the colors of our nation to go to work, he was serving and sacrificing. For 28 years, Chief Armstrong has done just that because he recognized a long time ago that the sacrifice is necessary and to serve is an honor. When you have served for a while, you begin to get this feeling deep down inside when you have lived this type of life. G, you have come a long way. You have accomplished a lot, and you have sacrificed even more. Not only have you served and sacrificed for your country, you continually serve and sacrifice for those in need by mentoring at-risk youth, by speaking to our children about self-esteem, self-worth, and providing positive reinforcement to them that you can succeed and that no goals are out of your reach if you strive to better yourself, your situation, and your community. Your engaging personality and truth in advertising are two of your best attributes because not only do you motivate through your efforts, you live them. And that, my friend, goes a very long way with gaining the trust and confidence of our children. You have proudly worn the colors of our great nation for 28 years. And whether it was from the tropical all-expense paid vacation at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina, the decks of a mighty naval warship, a deployed SEAL team, or from a major staff right here in Norfolk, you have made a difference. A positive, lasting difference. We're going to miss you, your service, your professionalism, but most of all, your friendship. But we know it's time. Your family's waiting. To the family, thank you again for sharing your husband, father, brother, grandfather, cousin, nephew with us for 28 years. We want you to know that he has done well, and he's coming home. Phyllis, I implore you to have that honey-do list ready and wait. Because now that he's going to have some time on his hands, at some point, Gary will get on your last damn nerve. So keep it working. And I don't mind is the devil's workshop. G, it has truly been an honor to serve alongside you the past 26 years. Thank you for your support and many talks, prayers, and thoughts shared. Not only are you an inspiration to others, you are an inspiration and valued friend to me. Thank you, my brother, for your friendship. Now, as you transition to another chapter of your life, may God continue to bless you and your family, and may you always encounter fair winds and following seas. Thank you, my brother. I love you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander White. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain John Peirce, Commander, Navy Munitions Command, will now present Senior Chief Armstrong's awards. Please rise. Attention to award. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal to Senior Chief Surface Warfare Gary Armstrong, Sr., United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following citation. For outstanding meritorious service from February 2012 to July 2013 as Command Senior Enlisted Leader and Administrative Officer on the staff of Commander, Navy Munitions Command. As the Senior Enlisted Leader for a worldwide ordnance enterprise comprised of more than 2,400 personnel, including over 1,000 sailors, Senior Chief Armstrong provided sage advice to the Commander on how best to serve the sailors and civilians of the command. His compassion and dedication enabled sailors